What's up? Welcome in to Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. Thanks so much for downloading the podcast and check me out on YouTube, youtube.com. Look for Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. Like, share, subscribe, and comment to everything we do on Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. I have a question before we get started talking about the summer of football. Have you purchased or taken a look at the merchandise that's available right now for Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood? Have you checked this out? We've got t-shirts, we've got mugs, we've got hoodies. Do you dare wear a hoodie in July? I double dog dare you. If you check the link in the bio, you can be able to check out the Under the Hood merchandise. It's available right now. We have a summer sale. We like to move some of this stuff so we can get ready for the fall and the winter. So we'd like for you to take a look. It doesn't cost you anything to look. Check out the link that's available right now. Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood merchandise. If you don't have a t-shirt, a mug, or if you don't have a hoodie for a gift for the fall and winter, it's available for you right now. Summer football could be something college. It could be something pro. It could be something NFC, AFC. It could be the Big Ten, which we'll have later on this week. But you never know. But today it's about the Chicago Bears because Kevin Fishbain wrote a great piece in theathletic.com regarding 10 things to look forward to with training camp. I'd like to let you know that I'll be at training camp this week to take a look at the Chicago Bears and what they're going to do here. Over the next couple of weeks, I'll be at training camp, so I'll give you some sights and sounds of what's happening with the Bears. But I want to talk about 3 of the 10 things that he talked about, and we'll talk about some of the other stuff later. But I want to talk to you about 3 things that stood out about the piece from Kevin Fishbain from theathletic.com. One of them is the second-year breakouts for the Chicago Bears. And he's talking about specifically Colston Loveland and Luther Burden. They were both ranked top 18 in the league in receiving yards. Number 1 and number 2 ranked rookies. They did it in some of the big moments, that production in some of the big moments late in the season. Now, you remember those two, Burden and Loveland. We took calls on Cap and Jay Hood about, hey, where are these guys? Where are these kids? It can't just be DJ Moore and Roma Dunze. Well, how come we're not seeing enough production from these guys? How come they're not on the field? It's only because you saw that those two were not healthy and also not up to speed when it comes to the playbook. Ben Johnson wants something specific when it comes to his offense. And so Colston Loveland and Luther Burden were not ready to be able to be as productive as I think a lot of us thought they would be as rookies. But we did see them on the field, and we saw them come up big. And so, you grow up fast in the National Football League. So I look forward to seeing Loveland and Burden really being able to help carry this offense. Now, we saw Burden and his electric speed for the Bears last year, which was so much fun. And then Colston Loveland just became a safety valve for Caleb Williams, like 5 yards, 10 yards. Loveland was there on the sidelines, was able to catch some footballs for the Chicago Bears, and a lot of them. Imagine what year 2 could bring. I'm not looking forward to a sophomore slump because a lot of what we saw from the Bears was way ahead of the curve. For a first-year head coach, and you're just trying to put your offense in and trying to get Caleb Williams to take a step, he took several steps, and so did the offense. So this was really being able to drink water through a fire hose for everybody with the Bears, including the offense. So I look forward to seeing even better from Burden and from Loveland. It makes me wonder, will one of the 2 of these guys be the leading receiver for the Bears in 2026? I think that's on the table. A lot of those Bears are on the table. It's a lot of talent offensively, but it's only one football. But I think no matter how much talent you have to have go-to guys. You can't have 3 or 4 go-to guys. You have a guy like, hey, for sure, that guy's going to be there when I'm throwing the football. That's going to be interesting to watch. One football, but an array of talent for the Bears. I'd rather have it this way than have like one receiver like DJ Moore by himself when he first got here. This is way better. The second thing he talked about was Roma Dunze. It's funny we talk about the wide receivers, right? So Roma Dunze had that foot injury that overshadowed his ability this past season. It's funny, with Roma Dunze being out, who stepped up big? It was DJ Moore. DJ Moore stepped up big for the Chicago Bears as a veteran. So the question about DJ Moore was, well, is DJ Moore going to be with the Bears in 2026 after all the production he put in? The answer is no. He's a Buffalo Bill. You have to turn the page on some veterans, maybe a year too early before it's a year or two too late. Totally understand what the Bears did there. DJ Moore was so good for the Bears, did not complain, and he continued to get hospital balls, the kind of floaters that was up there in DJ Moore to make, chicken salad out of what. And he came up big in a lot of plays for the Bears this past season. But with Roma Dunze's foot injury, it was a lot of DJ Moore, a lot of Loveland, a lot of Burden, a lot of the running game. There was a lot of things that really helped the Bears get to where they need to be offensively, and Roma Dunze was out with the foot injury. So now this is a big year for Roma Dunze. He says that it's a new normal. The foot injury that he has right now, that his foot structure is not what it was when he first came to the Bears because of the injury that he suffered. So this is big for him. And Caleb and Rome are homies. So it's important for Caleb and Rome to get on the same page, because if Rome's not on the same page with Caleb Williams, if there's some balls that are dropped, if there's some issues offensively, or there's something that Ben Johnson doesn't like, others will get the football, because we saw it last year with Roma Dunze being out. So a big question about Roma Dunze, that bone structure in his foot is not like it was when he first got here. So now it's incumbent on Rome to be able to step up big for the Chicago Bears this season. That is for sure. And a third thing that was talked about here as we do summer football here Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood, and that is Mr. Braxton's Blindside, or in this case, Caleb Williams' Blindside. I'm calling him Braxton Blindside just for this summer of football, because Braxton Jones is back for a one-year deal. And I know at the time that he was signed, Bears fans were like, wait, what? Braxton Jones, you thought you were going to turn the page on Braxton Jones. And I guess that Ryan Poles said, well, we couldn't find anyone better for left tackle, so we're going to go with Braxton Jones to compete with others. And those others are players like Jedrick Wills, and it's Karan Agamagaje. Maybe he's an inside guy. I'm not even sure he's a left tackle. You saw him play, right? He might be an inside guy, maybe more of a left guard or right guard. I don't know. And Theo Benedict. And so there's competition at left tackle, that is for sure. But it's up to Braxton Blindside to be able to make sure that he can win the job. He's a veteran, and he can do the job. But how effective can he be? Talk to Tom Thayer from ESPN Chicago. Friend, talked to him about him. He thinks that Braxton Jones obviously is yoked. He really got after it in the offseason. But what does that mean? What does that mean when it comes to making sure that Caleb Williams is not down on the ground? This left tackle position, again, is going to be compelling to see who's going to win the job. I'm not going to spend all summer talking about left tackle. We've already been through this. Now we just want to see someone emerge, so that way you can look at the entire offensive line, especially with a new center in Bradbury or Logan. We'll see what that looks like. But it's important for Caleb Williams to be upright, so he can have running lanes, so the running game can have running lanes. So those things are very, very important. Don't forget, we have got our merchandise available right now. As we have our conversation, click the link. That way you can see our merchandise and get yourself the show that you support the most, the podcast that's your favorite. That's me. Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. Don't forget the Cap and J Hood Morning Show, weekday morning, 6 to 9 a.m. Central on ESPN 1000 and streaming on the ESPN Chicago app. We will be in Lake Forest at House Hall to give you the latest and the greatest when it comes to Chicago Bears, and I'll be able to take in a few practices, so that way we'll have some footage there and kind of talk about the buzz that's happening around year 2 of Ben Johnson and the Chicago Bears. Make sure that you like, share, subscribe, and comment to everything we do here on Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. We'll pick apart this piece from The Athletic a little bit more in our next videos, but thanks so much for supporting Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood, as we love that finally we've crawled and we've scraped, and now we're at Bear season. We're finally here. NFL camps are opening. We'll talk about it all here on Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. So long, everybody. Go God.